Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Siti Fitri, Binti Ahmad Ridzalman. Student number 2295427, Semester 5, Bachelor in Graphic Design, majoring Illustration. This is presentation video for review 2 and 3 for GDG 645 Illustration Design Study. For my final year project, I have proposed a case study of JahIT cross-stitch kit preserving Songket heritage motif. Songket is a textile from the brocade family, which means a rich fabric that uses the technique of weaving to raise pattern or motif, usually using gold or silver thread. It is exclusive and very ceremonial in Malay culture. Songket usually will be worn by the upper ranks. It is also symbolically heritage in traditions, which is why it is become one of the identities of cultural art heritage in Malaysia. The Songket came in many motifs, though sometimes it is hard to distinguish which pattern of which. A lot of people think that there is no variation of Songket motif pattern, which is why this case study is made to preserve the knowledge of it. An alternative is taken as the way of installing activities and installing the knowledge of Songket motif by doing cross-stitch as activity. This is because the actual weaving technique that required to make a Songket needs an extensive material to make. So this case study will explore another method, which is the method of cross-stitching as an alternative to make the pattern of Songket while learning about it. The problem statement in this research will investigate how the target audience could benefit from the knowledge of this topic outside from the formal education network and allow them to explore Songket heritage in a fun way. The case study will explore the ability to think creatively and innovatively to produce an illustration product to help target audience to learn about Songket because it is one of our traditional culture art. However, according to a research by Ridzalman in 2008, one of the difficulties we have to face is that younger generation do not understand how important it is to store art like Songket. So my project will find a way to preserve the knowledge of Songket motif. The novelty of this project is reserving skill set to commercialize culture heritage in crafty product, and the target audience which from the pool of young generation of age 13 to 25 years old, which is they can learn about Songket while earning themselves a skill of cross-stitching technique. And another novelty of this project is it will come with new motif that I will develop, and the motif will promoting the diversity of Malaysian culture, combining in one motif. The commercialization values for this project is to give the target audience the exposure of a useful and fun way to explore Songket motif knowledge using cross-stitch as activities. They will be provided with graphic instruction on the knowledge of Songket, the motif, and illustration instruction on how to make a Songket pattern using cross-stitch method. This can commercialize the preserving of Songket motif, especially for the target audience. For the creative strategy, we have objective, and the objectives of this project is the first one is to determine various type of motif and its story with the aim to preserving Songket design. So this way we will learn more about Songket motif and how it was developed and how it was made to be a motif. The second one is to explore the effective and fun way to learn about Songket heritage, especially for young generation, because for younger generation we need more trendy and aesthetic way in learning so that can make them interested how to learn. And lastly, to produce an instructional illustration to help target audience to learn about Songket through sewing, which is in the method of cross-stitching. And then the method, this product will be used as starter kit to help the target audience to boost their knowledge of Songket. After making a survey, this case study will develop an instructional illustration of preserving Songket heritage and a way of making motif using cross-stitch activities. And the kit will be tested out and collected in another survey to see the effectiveness and if the objective of the case study is achieved. The target audience will be from youngster group of 13 to 45 years old, which are high school and university students, because the case study aims to preserve the knowledge of Songket motif for the young generation, which is why cross-stitch activities are selected to be an alternative method of learning about the motif, because it is easier to understand and fun to explore by the audience. And the outcome of this case study will be develop new Songket motif that combine patterns of diversity culture in Malaysia. And then the knowledge of embroidering and preserving Songket. And last but not least, innovation product in learning kit. The methodology that is used for this case study is the objective of this qualitative research project was introduced to promote the new Songket motif that will be developed in this case study via cross-stitch activities, which can provide knowledge and preserve Songket heritage among young generation in Malaysia. A total number of respondents from age 13 to 25 years old, background of high school student and university student were randomly handed out the survey and voluntarily participate in this trial survey. Respondents were both balanced among science and art field students. There were 5 questions for demographics to see the variation in target audience, gender, age, education or occupation, the location, and their race. And then they were asked to answer 10 questions for the survey, which involved their knowledge of Songket and the motif, and their ability to craft sewing in cross-stitch method. From the survey, one of the questions was asked is, does respondent know what is Songket? And out of 26 respondents, only 1 respondent did not know what is Songket. However, although the majority of the respondents know what is Songket, when being asked if they can identify Songket motif, 76% of them voted no. Respondents were also asked to rate their knowledge of Songket, and the average voted was 2 and 3 out of 5. When being asked about their opinion on how important it is to preserve heritage like Songket, the majority of respondents voted 5 out of 5, which means they do realize the importance of preserving heritage art. It is just that they were shortcoming in gaining the knowledge of it. Because the case study will be using cross-stitch activities as an alternative to make the pattern of Songket, respondents were also asked to rate their sewing or stitching skill, and majority of them rated that they do not possess an excellent stitching skill. So cross stitch should be a reasonable alternative because first, cross stitch fabric is a type of cloth, cotton cloth fabric that has natural match, which can help users to easily learn how to stitch and where to thread in and out because the mesh provide visible hole. It's like a grid. And then the second reason is because the fabric, the cross stitch fabric, which is the name of Ada cloth, it is a bit stiff, so it won't be hard for beginner in sewing or stitching to use to start stitching on it. And this third reason is cross stitch is like its literal name of the activity. We just have to stitch the thread crossingly or overlapping to make the cross mark. And the outcome should look like a geometric pattern, which quite similar to Songket motif. For idea concept, as we can see here on the mood board, there are a lot of Songket motif. However, in this case study, we will be focusing on 5 motif, which is pucuk rebung, tampuk manggis, putik setangkai, tampuk perembang, and corak bulan bintang. As the novelty of the case study itself, I will develop a new motif that consists of Malaysian identity to promote the knowledge of Songket motif. The main product would be the instructional illustration book that consists of brief knowledge of Songket, how it is made, the material and stuff, the motif, the type of patterns, and tutorial on how to do the motif cross stitch pattern. The product will come in beginner kit box, which is complete with all equipment to make cross stitch pattern of Songket motif. As for the conclusion, the significance of this project is to preserve the knowledge of Songket motif in alternative way of making pattern using crafting activity, which is cross stitch. And the scope of this project includes survey before the testing and data collection of research material, the production of the product, and observing the outcome of the study if the objective were achieved. That sums up the presentation of review 2 and 3. So thank you.